Hey everybody, we are back here with famous Ralph.
I'm Crazy Ralph.
Crazy Ralph.
That's right, although I am famous.
Famous now as well.
Yes.
And where are we, Ralph?
We are in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, man. This is a university town. I have not been here in 20 years. 40 years ago, I came up here looking for chicks because this college is full of women.
How'd that work out?
It didn't work out at all.
But anyway, so we're here to do a walking the Main, if you will. It's another adventures with, or whatever.
It's the further adventures
the fun
of
with
Crazy Ralph and
yes.
just John.
And we're going to get t-shirts made up, so we
Yes.
actually have those for fun with Ralph and John,
Yes.
just like fun with Dick and Jane.
Yes.
But this will be like a walking the Main. So we're going to show you the walk the Main street here.
Oh my gosh.
So you guys can see all the cool
Streetwalkers.
Yes, we're not that type though. We don't cost anything. We also
No,
don't
we're
do
free.
anything.
We're
We're free birding it.
Yeah, there you go.
However, hopefully it doesn't mean anything awful.
If it does, we didn't know.
I apologize.
We're very
I'm
naive.
not up on the lingo.
No, we're not.
But we'll walk this, check you all the cool architecture. There's a really neat Civil War monument down the
Yes,
street that
it's
we'll
cool.
show you. We'll do a bunch of shorts and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Get to experience a little bit of Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, Main
Oh my
Street.
gosh. Freebird, you know what that means?
I've done stuff like that before, and they're like, "Hey, that meant something naughty." I was like, "I didn't know. I'm innocent.
What I know.
I'm innocent. My childlike mind doesn't know these naughty things." It's cool. I always love the barber poles. A lot of fun. But you can see here, it's just this cool Main Street. We actually, Josh and I did that Dollar General. Up above is on the second floor is actually, I believe, a ballroom. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong one, but this looks very similar. And it has like those tin ceilings on them that are real ornate. There's a little tiny stairwell in there that you can go up to that second floor. And the third floor is like some kind of meeting room. But it's actually a really cool store that when we used to go around and do these Dollar Generals.
I didn't realize this right here actually is the center of town. Okay, because that's 2 east and that's 2 west. We are actually standing on the square.
Yeah.
But
So
it's
this.
not.
Yeah, it's unique.
square at all.
Square's probably more down that direction
I would
now
think so.
because they sort of move every now and then. We're waiting for the green hand that says we're allowed.
We can going across. That means it's going to change. It changed to yellow. So we're going to wait now.
I don't want to.
See.
I want to get hit.
I was going to say.
Oh, there's a nice cemetery up there.
That way we're going to get hit.
At least we can go directly to the
Watch
cemetery.
these cars go and everything. I think that we're okay now.
Yeah, we didn't push the button, but
Walking.
jaywalking.
Jaywalking. We would never do that.
No, you
We
didn't.
are law-abiding citizens.
That's right. If we get arrested, you guys have the video proof that we are
Law-abiding citizens.
law-abiding citizens, even though we might potentially not be. Yeah, I definitely think this is more where they would consider the village square.
Yeah, down here, yeah.
And cool enough, they have a historic marker here that we'll quick do. I think that's for the county.
Yeah.
I always like those because this would be like the courthouse
Yes.
for the county. And there's actually a historic marker up here as well, plaque over here. So that is cool. So I'm gonna pause this right here. Back to the Handsome Ralph.
Hi.
We're continuing our journey. We just stopped at the courthouse. That'll be a separate video. Just very neat when they have historic markers like that.
That's a cool looking front.
That, wow. Well, folks, I got to stop here again. I got to take pictures. So once again, we just stopped to take pictures of this. It's Farmers National Bank, but I assume that's like Art Deco. But that's really quite... That's sharp, yeah. Really neat. And over there you see past Ralph. That's the Civil War monument that we'll be stopping at doing. But you just see the architecture of the town.
Yeah, it's cool.
Just really neat.
It is.
I'm gonna pause for a second here because I'm not filming people that don't want to be filmed. Well, actually, she's getting off in front of us. So. Oh, that's cool. That's the Historical Society over there.
Yeah.
Columbia County Historical Society.
If you move it.
I don't know. Well, when we go over. Ooh,
Kick the can. Kick the bucket.
got attacked by a cup. And here, if you want some bridal wear.
I don't.
Ralph doesn't.
It's very scary, actually.
He doesn't like the
Scary.
dresses. Don't quite isn't his thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool fountain.
That is.
It's not. Doesn't seem like it's operating.
It's like an egret or a heron. Huh?
Yeah.
do hawk hunting.
Yep. This time we're following the law.
I thought the law, but the law won.
In this case, it'd be the car won and ran us over. So let's take a closer look at this fountain. And that's cool. There's another really neat building there.
Over there, then. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Not quite sure what that is. It's like, is it Caldwell, is it consistory?
What are you looking at? Oh, there.
Yeah.
Consistory. Yeah, whatever that.
I don't know what that means. We're uneducated young gentlemen.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all the goat heads. Wonder if this
Okay,
is.
now don't take us the wrong way when I say this, but between that Art Deco design
And
all
this.
the goat heads, this is screaming demons, okay?
Yeah, I was about to say it, but I'm glad you did it.
Okay, I'm serious. I wonder what's going on in this town.
I was like,
because
so-
that Art Deco design was very iffy, but now we're seeing a bunch of goat heads here.
You're starting to wonder if there's a
I
history
wonder
of.
if there's witchcraft.
This is
all over
like
place.
the sacrificial.
I don't know.
We don't want to do
No,
that to
we're not doing
Bloomsburg,
that.
but you're
But
still a little worried.
It is kind of screaming. If I see something else, because 3's a magic number for me. If I see a third thing that says like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Ralph and I are going to
we
get
walk past
sacrificed.
the witchcraft.
It's cool because you can see in the goat mouths up there, and then in the lower ones, that's where the
Yeah, that's
water
where
is.
they
It's a
spit the
shame
water
it's
out.
not
Yeah.
like doing anything, but
Yeah. That is kind of weird.
that is bizarre.
Yeah.
All right.
To me.
So I'm going to take some photographs of whatever this is. And so we continue. Get that broken back out. Really, really neat, this square here. Some cool buildings that we just came across that we took pictures of. I didn't do any videoing there, but and then that goat fountain. Yeah. It's sort of what are they going for there?
That down here has a spire.
Yeah, that's cool. They have one of those like towers.
Yep.
Those are all that's Victorian era usually.
Too bad that Phyllis Rickers is not open.
Then this is cool. Do you think that's wood or is that iron?
You mean this right here?
Yeah, I guess this is wood.
This is wood.
Yeah. That's really, really. I love the globe.
You know what? I guess it is wood. It's wood.
Look up at the top there. There's a globe up in.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that neat?
It is.
Okay, time. So this is cool records and books, but it used to be a press building, and then up top there, there's a really neat, like actual looks like almost bronzish like globe, and then you can see over here on the building they have one of those old style like early 1900s alarms, burglar alarms, fire alarm. That's really, really neat. You talk about architecture, that globe thing is really cool. And then it's property of special merit awarded by the Bloomsburg Historic Preservation Society. Very, very cool.
It is.
Over there, like
That's
Ralph had,
right there.
yeah, Ralph had
Because if you
pointed.
look down through it, you see how there's first of all, look at the
Look at this the tile and the
Yeah,
stonework, and
yeah.
then the Victorian tower.
Yeah.
So that was an
And
1860s,
look at even across
1880s
the
home.
top there. There's like
There's like little plinth type thing, and like the
it's like a
the
fence.
Yeah, almost like
yeah.
they had an observatory or
Yeah.
something up there.
Oh, wow.
Probably have like maybe even an area they can climb out and then
Yeah.
stand up there and look out over like a lookout.
Yeah.
Really, really, really neat. West End Ale House. If you like your ales, come out to the West End. It's just one of those really beautiful. You can see the Victorian architecture and the gingerbreading. Just everything here is just stunning. Really, really stunning. That's just, it's not Wellsboro, and that's not a slight on Bloomsburg, but it's just Wellsboro is a very special place. It's probably one of the prettiest towns in Pennsylvania, if not the prettiest. New Hope is up there, but not quite Wellsboro.
Wellsboro's still better.
Yeah.
You know what it has to do with
That village
down-
green right down the
Yes,
middle
yes,
is
exactly.
just stunning.
Yeah.
And it's just the area that it's in. It just look at, like, they have a lot of these Victorian paint colors. This is falling apart a little bit, but it just,
Look at here, we have.
uh-oh, that's the third one.
Now it's not quite big enough for the third one,
Yeah,
but it has me wondering.
Ralph's starting to wonder, are we getting sacrificed today? That goat
There
thing.
must be a new Chinese person in town because there's a new Chinese massage.
Oh, new Chinese massage.
I wonder what happened to the old one.
I don't know. They went out of business. Maybe they had a fight.
Retired, they're older.
You know, they might have gotten a fight and took out. You had a gang war.
It is true.
And just all these things like the gingerbreading on these homes from that period.
Yep.
Covered bridge smoke shop. Oh, there's the cool old style. The cigar boxes. I always loved those. My dad had a bunch of those, and I still have a couple of them.
Go ahead and put all your little junk inside that.
Yeah, because that's what they're meant for.
Look at the way this thing shifts.
Wow.
Look at this.
This circular.
It's a circular thing. Isn't that kind of wild?
That is really, really neat.
If you stand right here, you can see.
It's like almost two different styles.
Gingerbread up there on top.
Yeah. And that's old school craftsmanship that you just don't see that today.
No.
But this almost looks like arts and crafts combined with Victorian.
Yeah.
Very, very neat.
Huh.
Another barber shop. I'm not sure if it's still. Oh, there's a different building. I wonder if they fight at night. They go out and like attack each other to see, you know, West End against the East End.
Yeah.
It'll almost be like what's that one musical?
West Side Story.
Yeah, West Side Story. And they all come out and do dance offs.
Right. Well, I think we should go out to this red light and cross over. And
That
get
works.
back up.
This looks like this is an old. Is this a moose lounge?
It is.
Yeah, they have one up in Millersburg that we took pictures of. One of the moose lodges, and that's what I think this is. So I'm gonna pause again. Nice for all you ladies. Whenever we go on these trips with Ralph, you get the man candy.
Yeah.
Walking right out in front.
What more could a woman want? Except everything else.
Exactly right. I have a one I did on Instagram of Ralph, a picture of Ralph walking away in Lidditz when we did the main street or some of the main streets in Lidditz. And I forget what the song was, but it was a Frank Sinatra song, and it was just perfect for the picture.
It might be witchcraft.
It wasn't that. It was a good one. It was like basically, this is a handsome man. Respect this.
Oh my God. So much.
Just really cool. I always love in towns that they have the hometown heroes. You see that especially up here in like Schuylkill County region and north of where we are. You see those a lot. And it's just such a nod and a respect to the men and women that have gone before us that have chosen, because I think Armed Services Day or Armed Forces Day was yesterday.
How was it?
I think so. So it's an acknowledgement of thank you for your service and the freedoms that you've given us and all that. So we're gonna pause here for a second because we got somebody coming up. So here we are. That's the other side where we were. That building is actually on the National Registry of Historic Places. Not sure what it is, but pretty cool nonetheless. Hey, look at the meow meows. Oh, look at that big yawn. Oh, there's 3 kitties. There's another little gray one already. He's like, why?
Yeah.
Oh, you're posing, aren't you?
Oh my gosh.
Draw me. Draw me just like this, wearing only this.
Belly rub. Oh my
Meow,
gosh.
meow, 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 meow.
Exactly.
That one's ignoring
How
us.
about over on this side? Is there anything over here?
It looks like there might be one there.
There's one there.
There's one hiding in the cat tower. They say beware of the dog, but it's beware of the kitties. Because they can be just as mean, if not meaner.
I can tell you.
Meow, 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 meow. Cat is like a little bit of an indifference. It's like, yeah, you could stare at me. I know I'm beautiful,
Yeah, exactly.
but go away.
That was unexpected.
Yeah, that was cool. They have a bunch of kitties. Beware of dog again.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, beware of dog means beware of cat.
Yeah.
So again, you see the unique gingerbreading on these homes of the Victorian age are just really stunning. It's an art form that just, it's not done anymore. The character that these places had when they built them. And then once again, you can look at some of these places over there that we just went past, and you just get to see the unique Victorian structures and look at the beautiful lamps here.
That one over there with the flag.
Yeah, that one is really, upper above is really stunning. And then here, Bastion Tire Sales. That looks like that. It could be from the 1700s, a tire shop, because, you know, Washington was coming through town here. He needed new tires, and this is where he wanted the blinged out wheels.
Was it Hayes who came through here, or was it Harrison?
Yeah, that was Hayes. Yeah. I always get Hayes and Harrison because they were like right after each other, I think. It was in that period of presidents that sort of did nothing.
Yeah. Which one was assassinated, Harrison?
Garfield.
Okay.
Yeah, he only was in office for like 2 months. And it might have been longer than that, but he got shot and then lasted for like 60 days. And then I think I don't know if it was him or McKinley died of gangrene then, because McKinley got shot in like the chest cavity and the stomach. And I think he didn't last that long, but it was one of them, I think it was Garfield, got gangrene. And it was an awful way to go. So again, these beautiful, stunning, the shutters.
Yeah.
Definitely a very cool.
Even those columns there.
Yeah. Just different types of architecture.
And look at the gingerbread across there.
Yeah. And that's type of wood craftsmanship.
I like that brick too.
The brick is really neat, how it's put together. And
then they painted this brick, which you should never do.
yeah.
But anyway.
And there, once again, you see some of the unique architectural aspects that they have up there, the roof, and just things you don't see anymore.
Oh, look at this mural. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, so I think we're going to get our first short here.
And then look at that church back there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a huge church, man.
It's not Episcopalian because the Episcopalian's down on the other side of town.
That's just wild.
But that's probably UCC, Reformed. I mean, that might be Methodist or Presbyterian, because there is.
See, John, you got to realize that there's a church there. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just different ones. Episcopalians are usually more ornate because they had a richer crowd.
I interrupted you. You are correct.
Yeah.
To me, though, that's a church.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a church. It's probably. I bet you it's Methodist.
I love that mural, though.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that, and you guys can see it here on video, and then I'm gonna do a short and some pictures. One last look at the cool artwork, and then we'll keep on heading downtown. But you can see across the street once again, just a really neat architecture. A lot of these buildings, you're walking by, and if you're right on top of them, you can't really like lean back. But here's those lamps that they're really neat. They're like an Art Deco type.
Well, those are they brass? So they be polished. They be clean, right?
Oh, yeah. That's really neat. Again, you get to see the artwork. These cool town camera, but that is just neat. The architecture and these different designs.
Yes.
Yeah. Here you get to see much older brickwork where they weren't entirely finished, or there's reasons for that. Because
see how they covered up the windows there. If you see.
Yeah, up above.
Yeah. And I bet you there was a house here.
Yeah,
so
which is why the brickwork didn't need to be
finished.
finished.
Yep. Yeah, you can see the outline of the building.
Yeah.
They came down.
So it used to be a building here as well as where the artwork was.
Hey, well, here is the new Chinese massage.
Yeah, so we're right here.
See you in 3 hours.
Yeah, and yeah, you get those stones put on your back. She looks happy about it.
There you go.
Hopefully they only do massages.
Okay.
This property is another one of these historic National Register of Historic Places. I got to do research on what these buildings originally were.
Remember we saw these from across the street? And well, it's first you see there's brick, and then they have the wood going out.
Yeah, those are always neat architectural elements. So this was probably some kind of merchant type stores, and it's been around probably from the 1850s. A lot of the.
Look at how this is set up in here.
That's really neat.
That must have been a bank at one time. What do you think?
Well, it's a really fancy. It probably was a bank where they had the fancy cubicles, which would have been wood.
Well, you walk in right there, and that's where they wait on you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is.
I love the little balcony there that they have up above. That's pretty neat with the ironwork.
We saw it from the other side. It's the one that has the spire.
Yeah, and this. I would not be surprised. I think that has a plaque too for National Registry.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they had something on it that said what it was originally. But look at that tile. I don't know if that's tile. It looks like tile work that they have above the windows.
It is.
And you look at that gingerbreading. That is ornate. And even there's names for those flower bursts. That's a type of architectural element. Very, very cool. And then another one of these Registry of Historic Places. They put those plaques on. So this is part of. This actually apparently has.
Down there.
Oh, there's that church. There's a really cool house with another one of those towers down there you see. Yeah, so that's pretty neat. If I had more in me, we'd be going down there as well, but I'm just sort of what I am right now. Once again, there you can see that morning press, and you can see the really cool globe up at the top.
Yes.
Let me move in there. That's a really neat architectural element.
And here, this is well maintained currently.
Yeah.
These columns that are painted up and everything else.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then you look up above at the,
Yeah.
that's a type of stone, not brickwork. Very cool.
Maintained.
And it's nice to see, because you see these elements, what they would have looked like when they were first put up.
Look at this.
Oh wow. That's neat.
That is cool.
It's like a little park right here in the middle of probably do different events here and whatnot.
Yep.
Probably it was another historic building here at one time, and no longer there, but they utilizing it for the community.
Here it's a memorial park. They have it all paved like this, so they don't have to worry about maintaining the grass and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Dr. Charles A. Gillespie Memorial Park. Very neat. Now we see this really cool building with all its really
Oh, look at this now.
amazing architectural elements.
Look up through there.
Now that's stunning. I love these old style storefront with the big glass where they would have their displays.
Look at that.
Yeah. Have like, I guess that's like probably like a granite or something
Yeah.
like that
That's sharp.
with bricks.
Yeah.
So this was a place that old style like milk glass there over the light. Very cool.
Yeah, that light there.
Yeah, that's milk glass up above.
Okay.
I just love the curve on the corner where it's not a straight edge on the corner here. And once again, you can see the combinations of granite. It looks like another stone as well, and then the brickwork. So this is somebody, whoever built this, they had money. Oh, there's some meow meows. Look at that. That's a big meow. He's going changing the ball, taking the ball.
Make a picture of that so that there's advertising for that.
There you go. Cats in Bloom, Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. 1,500 cat adoptions.
Wow.
I could say something, but it wouldn't be appropriate about cats.
No, don't say it.
We're not going to say it.
It's called Market Square. Though.
Market Square. And Market Square, the reason a lot of these, like Schaeferstown, we've done their market squares, is this is where a lot of the stores were, and they were usually really important.
Do we go across?
Yeah.
We're halfway, of course.
And I think I'm going to sit down then for a little bit.
Yep. Go here.
Well, my back's starting to give out, but once again, you can see this extraordinary building, just the architecture. This would have been a place where, this was their big time markets, inns, taverns, probably a north-south or east-west route that was extraordinarily important. So this is in honor of the men of Columbia County who fought for their country.
Fredericksburg. So this is definitely Civil War, huh?
Oh yeah. Cold Harbor,
Oh, is it really?
Fair Oaks.
Okay.
Our flag is still there. And you see, of course, the sailors, the guys that would have handled the cannons, and your infantry units.
Oh, and that was Cold Harbor, not Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, Cold Harbor.
Okay. You had me thinking, like, wait a second.
Erected by Columbia County in 1908. Petersburg and Antietam. And of course, a soldier holding the flag.
Yeah.
And then when we get a chance, we'll go to the other side. But I'll do a short of this as well for the memories of hometown. But you can see, once again, just look at some of the architecture in this square. This is the Market Square.
Yeah.
That looks like that's the post office.
That's even a cool looking post office when you think
Yeah,
about it.
and then this is some kind of
Isn't that a
other
cool shot down
township.
through there?
Yeah,
Well
it's
maintained.
beautiful
Yeah.
area here.
Tree line, yeah.
So, like I said, this would have been a very important part of the community. When they called them Market Square, there's one in Lebanon, there's one, we did the one in Schaeferstown, and they were usually important routes. And
And here, of course, is the clock tower for the courthouse.
Courthouse for Columbia County.
Yeah. Cool.
This guy would have probably been cavalry then, because they had the swords.
Let's go walk out here when we can.
And then the other battles, they have the Wilderness Campaign and Bull Run.
Oh, wow.
Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty.
Nice.
It's very neat.
It is.
All right, so I am going to stop here. I'm going to do a short, and then I'm going to do some pictures as well, just because of how cool this is. Again, you can see across the street that beautiful Farmers Bank, and then the county courthouse.
I love that.
That is just really neat.
That's cool looking. Demonic, cool looking.
Yeah, it's not quite the goat fountain, but
No,
it's
interesting enough.
close.
Yes.
It's got those colors. Once again, look at these. The storefronts here are just so neat. The vining that they put in there is just stunning. This is cool with the arches and the arch and the pillars.
Yeah, pillars.
That's back when they made things different.
That's nice stuff.
Even like the old iron sign hanging there, so like that is just ornate. You just look down, just how, oh, that's cool. Ralph.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's really cool too.
And unexpected too.
Yeah, there's another one of those fire alarms. Really, really cool. And it's cool seeing like this stuff from the other side of the street.
Yeah.
You just get to see it a little bit better, even though you're not as close. You just get to see like where the 1894 date is there at the top there of the triangular part of the roof. That's really, really neat. Or it's 1891, I believe.
And then here you can go ahead and see those ornaments.
Yeah.
At the very top there. You see
They have the masonry type elements and just how the big windows.
Yeah.
Probably was a bank or something like that. You see at the top of the windows there, the woodwork. And this was a hotel, Hotel McGee. That's very, very cool. So this would have been a top end. So that's what this whole thing was. This is all a hotel.
Yeah, over here's the other side of the hotel.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
See right there.
Yeah, so we'll get a picture of that just quick because the brickwork is astonishing. This one's actually got a cool top. It's sort of something you would see probably in the 70s, but underneath there would probably be brickwork, something of that nature, because this is a very ornate building as well. But they sort of updated it in the 70s, so you got a lot of this aluminum type siding over the windows, and then the top has sort of the metal things there. The forming is sort of an Annville. There was a furniture store that has something. It's clear it's a brick building, but it's clearly 70s. Pause for a second there because you can't hear me and I can't hear myself when these big trucks come through. And over there you see some of the cool buildings that where we started, and this is once again the corner and then the brick. It's just a, sort of a combination of whatever stone is probably granite and brick. And over there you see there's another, that would have been a bank right where the barber shop is.
Yeah.
Some trust company. And then some of the other beautiful structures there as well.
As far as the red light crossover?
Yeah, that
That'd be
works.
okay?
Yep, because that's right there at the church then.
Yeah, cool. Look down here before you go any further.
Oh, okay, we're going down there.
Okay.
We're gonna get run over by the car. They have like three. I've seen three different ones that were clearly probably theaters, that they still have the marquees. That is a cool marquee. Alvin Krauss. Wonder if they still are movie house. It looks like it. Yeah. That is the Alvin Krauss Theater. That is Art Deco. That is stunning.
Yeah, with those windows there.
Yeah, that is really
Sharp?
that is neat. That's old style, golden era of Hollywood and golden era of Ralph.
My head.
Yep. Wow.
That's sharp though.
You want to talk about memories? This Dollar General here in Bloomsburg. This used to actually be a ballroom, like a dance hall. So there's tin ceilings on there, and it's on the second floor, and then the third floor was like a meeting space. But this is just a Dollar General. How ornate this is. It's just so neat here in Bloomsburg. And there's,
So while you have that thing going, I have a question for you.
yeah.
So you see those stars up there?
Yeah.
So those are the pull things tight so things don't fall?
Yeah,
What's the
there's
deal?
support because there's like an actual
A beam?
iron rod that
Oh,
goes
iron
through.
rod. Okay,
And
yes.
that's what that's for. If there was like things were moving or whatever, that sort of, and they did that on the next building too.
Yeah, I see that quite a bit.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, but it's so prominent on this one here.
That's usually turn of the century they would do that because this is probably from the 1860s.
Okay.
So then they would go in 40, 50 years later if they noticed there was some movement in the brick.
Okay.
They would actually put these up there and they'd space them wherever there was issues. This one had a cross between the second and third floor, whereas this had between second and third floor, but it also seemed to have a couple other problem areas that it had, and that keeps everything together.
Oh, okay.
So the building continues to stand, but it's just, I have a lot of good memories. Like that store, I remember when we did that. And it was just, I love that. Also, many of these buildings are all on the National Registry, so it's so neat to like I'd love to learn Bloomsburg's history. Come back here and say this is.
Before we go too far, you can put off your thing. We need to go in here.
Okay, let me just quick pause this. So it's a really neat town. You can see over here, show these places over here, and then over there's another.
Across there.
Through
there.
The Grant Building.
Yeah.
Somebody named Grant, or it's after U.S. Grant. Who knows?
Hey, but look at over there. You see the keystone?
Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool. Okay. Yeah, that's over there.
See once again the gingerbreading. Just I love that too.
Yes.
I have a Jag house.
Look down through here.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty neat.
That's kind of sharp.
They really,
And I guess there's a bar down there.
yeah. That's cool. There's some. We're gonna do this quick. The artwork. It's more of this small town artwork that they do. That's just so neat. These are more like glass mosaics, tile. And then this stuff is more printed artwork. Still very, very cool. Looking down the village and then sort of modern art, pop art if you will. Adventure awaits. Now they have a children's museum here and then another restaurant. Very, very cool. You never know what you have here. So here we are in that alley with the cool artwork. We're going to go down here to the light and then come back across because my leg is starting to get to the point where I'm done. And even like my diabetes, I have the issues with my blood sugar getting low. Even though I took care of myself. We stopped at Dollar General. I got some sugar sodies, which I shouldn't have, but it helps get my blood sugars back up. I like the name of this, Fog and Flame. Very cool. Another building with historic National Registry, part of the historic district here in Bloomsburg. Really neat woodwork. Over there, what used to be the Capitol Theater, now it's Capitol Restaurant.
I think is that building there.
A lot of incense.
Video games and not sure what that right there is.
That's incense or something. Althea's Imaginarium. Alright, once again.
So there's that Capitol Theater.
Yep, so we'll be going by that so you guys can see the little cool architecture of these different buildings. We're going to go down the light and across the street, that's that really neat. Oh wow, they got like a cell tower on top of the bell tower.
Oh,
That
wow.
sort of,
Takes away from it, huh?
yeah, that doesn't make me like that church as much anymore.
Yeah.
I know it's money, but still.
That building.
I just love these balconies that they have up on these buildings. Are just so neat.
There's balconies up there.
Yeah,
And even that design across there.
yeah. They just did things differently back in the day. Yeah, we'll go across and then we'll head down. The cell tower sort of ruins it for me. Yeah.
Across this side here?
Yep. So a lot of cool buildings here, but I'm just running out of energy. And St. Paul's Episcopal Church is a stunning church. It just sort of has the thing there.
The Annville house.
Yeah. So once again, there's this pretty Episcopalian church. Just how beautiful that stonework is. And that's just sort of what they were renowned for. So we're coming to an end of this video because my battery's starting to die. What used to be a theater. At least most of the marquees still up. Very, very cool. Alright, so we sort of cut off there because there was a car alarm going off.
Oh my gosh,
A
obnoxious.
motorcycle that was obnoxious. And,
Obnoxious error.
but this is another fun with Ralph and John.
Oh my gosh, it was
and
fun.
It was fun.
It was.
It was very cool to see all this in downtown Bloomsburg.
It was.
And we'll see you all about town.
About town.